All right, let's jump right in. The world is going through this huge demographic shift that's kind of hiding in plain sight. Today, we're digging into a really fascinating analysis from the Lausanne Movement State of the Great Commission report, and it shines a light on what might be one of the most significant yet overlooked opportunities for the global church. I want to start with just one number, 2.1 billion. Let that sink in for a second. What on earth could represent a group of people that massive?
Well, the answer? According to the Lausanne Movement, that's the projected number of people aged 60 and over by the year 2050. Yeah, you heard that right. It's the fastest growing population group in the entire world.
And that leads us to the big question of this whole explainer. The report makes a pretty sobering point. This monumental shift hasn't really been a primary focus for Christian missions. So, what's the deal? Why the gap? Let's break it down. Okay, first, we just need to get our heads around the sheer scale of what's happening. This isn't some minor trend. This is a defining reality of our time. What's truly staggering here is the speed of this change. Right now, we're at about 1 billion people in this age group. But by 2050, that number is set to more than double. This isn't some far-off future we're talking about. It's happening right now, and it's picking up speed. But, it's not just about the big numbers. The report points to something deeper, something much more personal. A quiet crisis that's unfolding in communities all over the globe. I mean, just look at this data. In Canada, a shocking 42% of people over 85 live alone. Here in the US, it's nearly a third of all seniors. And the report also mentions that about 30% of those seniors in the US say they feel lonely. This isn't just about living situations. It's about a deep, profound sense of isolation. And we're not just talking about feelings here. This has severe real-world consequences. The report actually quotes medical research that calls loneliness a genuine health crisis, a fertilizer, it says, for other diseases. And that's where the pastoral concern becomes really, really urgent. Now, this is where the report takes a really interesting turn and challenges some very common assumptions. What if we've been looking at the spiritual lives of older adults all wrong? There's this common idea that getting older is a time of spiritual decline, maybe disengagement. But what the report reveals, backed by research, is that the reality is the complete opposite. Seniors tend to value spirituality more, not less, as they age. It's actually a season of incredible spiritual openness. And to really zero in on this, the report introduces a concept. It calls the 70-100 window. This is a period of life where the big questions about mortality, meaning, legacy, they all come right to the front, creating this unique and powerful receptivity to faith. So we have this massive, growing population that's also spiritually open. But that's not even the whole story. The report points to another huge, underutilized force for good hiding inside this very same group. Here's another number for you, 1.5 billion. Any ideas? That's the current number of grandparents in the world, an absolutely incredible network of potential mentors and guides. And just like the broader 60-plus population, this group is going to grow to 2.1 billion by 2050. That'll be nearly a quarter of all people on Earth. The report calls it the age of the grandparent, a whole generation perfectly positioned to pass on faith and wisdom. So when you put all this together, the numbers, the spiritual openness, this incredible untapped potential, the report argues that, a major shift in our priorities is long overdue. And it asks this really direct, kind of provocative question. We have entire ministries built around young people, which is awesome, but why the hesitation to invest with that same level of intention in seniors? It really points to a huge blind spot. So the crucial point is this. The report frames this whole thing not as a burden or simply a duty of care, but as an extraordinary opportunity, a true missional frontier where so many people are searching for hope and meaning, many for the very first time. So what does that actually look like? Well, the report lays out 4 big shifts in mindset. First, moving from marginalizing older adults to fully integrating them. Second, going from just a maintenance mode to an active mission. Third, swapping old assumptions for real intentionality. And finally, breaking down generational silos to build a truly intergenerational community. All of this data, all this analysis, it's all building toward one final, defining challenge for the church today. And the stakes here are really high.
The cost of doing nothing, as the report lays it out, means missing out on one of the fastest growing people groups on the planet. It means neglecting a clear biblical responsibility, overlooking a spiritually hungry population, and losing a vast reservoir of wisdom and faith.
And so we end here, with the fundamental question the Lausanne report leaves us all with. Faced with this historic demographic shift, is the church going to see this rapidly growing group of older adults as a central, vital mission field, or will it just remain a secondary concern? The answer to that question is going to shape the future of the church for generations to come.